Hello and welcome to Best Binocular Reviews. My name is Jason, and in today's video I'm going to be unboxing and giving you some of my first impressions on these Discovery WAED 8x32 binoculars, and I'm going to start right now. Right, okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to open up the box quickly. I'm not going to talk about the box too much because it's pretty basic. Okay, so the case, once again with Opticron, it's going to get the job done. I wouldn't say it's super premium or anything like that. It has a Velcro closure to it, which I've spoken about many times. It's nice and easy to get into, but on the downside, as you can hear on camera there, no doubt, it makes quite a lot of noise. So, you know, if you're stalking some wildlife or some birds and from quite close range and they're easily frightened, it's just something to keep in mind. The case itself looks reasonably well made. Yeah, I wouldn't say anything beyond that. It's going to get the job done. It's reasonably well padded without being excessively so. So it's nice and lightweight, easy to fold up and put away, but at the same time provides probably just enough protection to a binocular of this size and weight. Inside the case, one thing that Opticron do splash out on in terms of the accessories is the lens cleaning cloth. This is the same one that I've seen with all their other products. It's really, really good quality. They also give you instructions on how to clean and things like that. So, and it comes in a nice case to keep the actual cloth nice and clean and dust free. The case itself has its own carry strap. You can't remove it from the bag, which some people might find a little annoying depending on how you use this product. Nicely padded. It's got a lot of, it's quite thickly padded, but it is quite thin. So the padding is going to definitely help, but in terms of surface area, it's not going to spread the weight out as much as some neck straps would. Having said that, we've got a very small mid-sized binocular that we're looking at, so the need for a very chunky neck strap is not there because it is lightweight. Just to also point out that the strap is straight, hasn't got a curve to it. Yeah, in that way, it's pretty basic. Right, okay, so just moving on to the binocular itself, the first thing you'll notice is just how small it is. So remember, this is not a compact binocular. Technically, it's a mid-sized binocular. And that's one thing that Opticron has always impressed me with on the other products that I've tested. Their mid-sized binoculars are sometimes as small as many compact binoculars. Indeed, if you take a look at the website, I have actually awarded them, you know, awards in the past for the best compact binocular, but in reality, you're looking at a mid-sized binocular. So these technically 32mm lenses on BBR anyway, I classify this as a mid-sized binocular, but in terms of how it fits in your hands, very close to many compact binoculars. The advantage being that you still have reasonably large 32mm lenses. Now that's not that much smaller than a 42mm standard binocular. So the advantage of that, obviously with larger lenses, you're going to be able to still take in more light than you would a smaller, you know, so if you went for a full compact, say a 26mm or something like that, this is going to let in much more light and therefore it'll perform much better, especially in low light. Just a quick look at the lens caps, very basic and quite generic. I like the fact that they're tethered to the actual binocular, so easy to replace. Don't really add to the look of the binocular, but perfectly understandable. And to be honest, I'd be surprised if they went and beyond that and you know, did something more fancy. Objective lens cover, the ocular lens cover, sorry, I should say, has a nice flexible bridge, therefore allowing you to store it whatever your IPD setting is. Speaking of which, the bridge over here covers most of the body as you would expect. It's quite a wide bridge, so you know, quite often these days you'll find even full-size binoculars that will use a thinner bridge. The advantage of having a nice wide bridge would be that it's obviously connecting more of the barrel to the bridge, and therefore in theory could be more robust and less chance of it, you know, breaking or moving out of alignment. In terms of its mechanism, it has a nice resistance to movement. It will stay in your desired setting. So sometimes with a cheap binocular you have a really cheap hinge. You know, what I'm looking for is this, it doesn't just flop open and closed, or is too hard to open and close. This strikes a nice balance between the two. Let's move on now to the focus wheel. Nothing to write home about in terms it's not made of metal or anything like that. Once again, at this price range, it's perfectly understandable. What I do like about it is it's large. So it's the same size, I think, pretty much as what you would get with a standard full-size binocular. The advantage of this, it's nice and easy to reach, one-handed. And also remember, if you're using this product in winter and you're wearing gloves, it's going to be easy to locate without having to look and also adjust, even with really thick gloves on. If I just want to to quickly look where the lenses are. There is a little step back here from the edge of the barrels into where the lens is, which is quite impressive because the height of this binocular is just over 10 centimeters, which is, it's really, really short. Opticron have their optical system, makes that the binocular is really, really short. So it's even more impressive when you consider that at least, I don't know, 7 millimeters of that is just made up with a ledge in between the lens and the end of the barrel. The advantage of this is it just provides a little bit more protection to the lenses itself. So if, for instance, you weren't using these caps and you put the binoculars down like that, if it was a rough surface, there's less chance of anything getting in and scratching your lenses. But also on top of that, it just keeps it cleaner. So less chance of dust or rain, light rain falling onto the lens. Next up, we'll just speak a little bit about the diopter adjuster over here. So as very typical, most roof prism binoculars, modern ones, the diopter adjuster is on the right eyepiece. For those who don't know, this is just a way of slightly adjusting the focus on this side independently of that, so it can compensate for any difference between your left and right eyes. If you have any questions about how to set up a pair of binoculars, check out the link down below on the BBR website, and I go through it in lots of detail. Right, so the diopter adjuster, it is ratcheted, so that I wasn't expecting that. So at this price range, it's usually just a ring that you twist. Here you can hear, possibly on camera, it has a slight ratchet to it. I like that because let's say your setting was not neutral, it's because it has a slight ratchet to it, the chances of, once you've made your setting, you obviously don't want it to move from that setting, the chances of it moving by accident are reduced. On top of that, the actual ring itself fits nice, it matches the contour of the actual binocular. It's not going to move easily by accident. Sometimes you get them that they stick out and then so it bashes against something. So I really do like that. It has a nice feel to it, and all being well that it works properly, it'll do a good job. Next up, I just want to quickly go over the eye pieces. It definitely has more than 16 millimeters eye relief. I think it has 18 if I'm not incorrect in saying. For such a small binocular, that's a lot. If you wear glasses and you want to use your glasses with your binoculars and you want a very small mid-sized binocular, these would be a good choice because there's plenty of eye relief. So even with your glasses, so if you imagine someone's eyes are there and you've got a pair of glasses there, if you twist these eye cups down, your eyes still remain at the right distance behind the lenses so that you can get the full field of view. Those of us who, if you're not wearing glasses, would usually have the setting at its maximum. Again, full details on the BBR website. Overall, I like exterior rubber coating. It looks tough. It's not very deeply padded, so sometimes you'll get rubber coatings that are really soft and spongy. This one feels quite hard and medium, and it's not the hardest I've ever come across. It's glued quite well to the actual chassis underneath. It has a textured imprinting on it, which adds just a little bit to the grip and also reduces glare. So for some stealthy reasons, it might be important to some people. A softer rubber quite often gets tacky over time. Rubbers deteriorate, especially with oil in your hands, or when you're cleaning it with a cleaning material. And I found that harder rubbers tend to be a bit more longer lasting, although they can crack up. But usually I'd prefer this harder rubber than a softer one, just because the softer ones do often go tacky. First impressions are very strong with this. I think the main thing to take away is just how small it is. For an 8x32, this is really, it's about as small as it gets for a mid-sized binocular. Right now, I'm going to go and take this binocular and give it a full test out in the field. As usual, it's going to take me some weeks to get through. That review will then contain all the information, all the specifications, comparing the specifications of this binocular between tons of other binoculars I've tested in the past, other ones that are in a similar price range, just so you can get a much better feeling of where these stack up. And if you are looking at this video in the future, be sure to check down below and I'll add that link to that review. So I'm going to leave this video there for now, and I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers for now.